Hello there, it's Mr. Rops, and we are here to continue thinking about factoring these scenarios. And let's think about what is it in the first place? Well, before I answer that question, let's consider this scenario here. And if we multiply it using the box method that we know, and we collect like terms, we get x squared plus x minus 20. And then just do that quickly for us. And to go this direction, this is multiplying. Now what faction is, it says it takes this scenario and it goes in the other direction. It goes in this direction. This is factoring. Going in this direction is factoring. Similar if I had the number 24, well here I won't do 24. If I do the number, let's say 15, I know if I factor 15, it's 3 times 5. These are the factors. Going this direction is factoring. This direction is multiplying. Okay, so that's what factoring is. And so I want to take these trinomials here, these quadratic equations, and I'm going to try and factor them. Let's look at what we have here. Now, in this problem here, we want to use our GDC to help us factor. And so I'm going to take this situation here, and I'm going to pretend that it is equal to y. And I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to go y equals. I'm going to plug it in to my equation, and then I'm going to graph it. And I can see here that it looks like this number here looks like -1, and this looks like +3, or -3. I'm going to check that. I'm going to go second, calculate my zeros, and my left bound I'll make -2, my right bound will be 0, and I'm going to guess at -1, and indeed that is one of my zeros. So I know one of my x-intercept is -1. Also if I look here, I'm going to guess this is -3, and I can see the y value is 0 and it's -3, and so my two x-intercepts are -1 and -3. I can use this idea to help me factor. From class, the investigation the other day, I know it's going to be x, the opposite sign, +1, and x plus 3. This is factored form of this. It's the opposite sign of the x-intercept gets me the factors. And there's a nice connection between all of these here. And so I can use the graph to help me find the x-intercepts, which help me find my factors. Try another example here. I want to factor x squared minus 4. Well, if I look at my calculator, if I clear this off, let's go get x squared minus 4 and graph that. And I'm mostly concerned with the x-intercept. So if I look at this, it looks like this is 2. I'm going to check. I'm going to trace and go to 2. And the y value is indeed 0. So that is my x-intercept. And so I know one of my x-intercepts is x is equal to 2. Looking again, I think this is also another of my x-intercepts, which looks like it's going to be -2 down here. And if I trace it, -2, it is indeed exactly equal to -2. And so I can say that x equals -2. Rewriting it from the x-intercepts to the factors, this one becomes x minus 2, this one becomes x plus 2. So if I consider here, this is the -2 goes to be plus. The signs change. So to factor with our calculator, we use the graph and the x-intercepts, and we work backwards. Okay, now we're looking for factoring techniques when we do not have our calculator. So we're going to put our calculator away there, and now we don't have our calculator. And so doing it, I'm going to utilize some of the past ideas that we've done in the past, our box. But here's a technique. You have to follow the steps. The first step is I'm going to make an x. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply x squared and 50. I multiply these two together and I get 50x squared. And then I purely take this number here, minus 15x, and I put it here, minus 15. I set it up, and now here's the question I ask myself. I ask myself, what two numbers multiply to get 50x squared and combine, add or subtract to get negative 15x. This is my magic question I need to ask myself in this box here. It's what two numbers multiply to get 50x squared and add or subtract combine to get negative 15. Well, if I think about multiplying first, the numbers I know that multiply to get 50 are 10 and 5. And so 10 and 5 multiply to get 50. And so I could say, but I want negative 15. So I could say negative 10x and negative 5x. They add to get negative 15 and they multiply to get 50x squared. I then go to my box. When we multiplied, we're going to go backwards. This is an area. And so the area of this box consists of a 50, which it comes from here. It also consists of an x squared. And now this 15x negative, this 15x, it has to fill in the other parts. And it's negative 5x and a negative 10x. And so in our box, we have to take this part and we take this part into the box. Now we're going to do a factor, common factor. And so to do the common factor, I go this direction. I get x squared and negative 5x. The common factor is x. When I look here, common factor between negative 10x and 50, I'm going to call negative 10. So if this number is negative, I'm going to pull out negative 10 as my factor from here. Going in this direction, x squared and negative 10x. The factor there is x. And the factor here will be negative 5. And so then, going backwards from my box, I can then put it in factored form. I get x minus 10 from here times x minus 5 from here. This length of side times this length of side gets the entire area. And so this is my factor, or it's been factored. Let's try another one. I'm going to take my question with me. Okay, so to factor this, step one is I'm going to make the cross. Here's my cross, or my x. Make the x. We'll make the cross. I'll call it the cross so it doesn't talk about those x's. Then I multiply x squared negative 30, get negative 30x squared. And then I go negative 7x on top. So I make the cross by multiply first and last terms. Then I ask myself this magic question here. This is my magic question. Without this question, I can't do it. My magic question says, what two numbers multiply to get negative 30x squared and add or subtract to get negative 7x? Well, thinking multiplying first, I know multiplying, I get 5 and 6 multiply to get 30, but I can't add or subtract those to get negative 7. But I could do 3 and 10, 10 and 3. If I think about my positives and negatives, I have to multiply to get negative 30 and add to get negative 7. That means this one is negative, this one is positive. And then I go to my box. I make my area. From my area, the next thing is I make the box. In my box, I'm going to put x squared minus 30. These are the first two terms. And then I just put these parts, 3x and a negative 10x. And now I factor. Factoring here, I get x is common. Between 3x and negative 30, 3 is common. In this direction, x is common. In this direction, negative 10 is common. And so then my factors are x plus 3 from here and x minus 10 from there. Try another one. We'll do this. So I'm going to make my box. This is negative 81x squared because I multiply it. But there's nothing here. I have to recognize this can be x squared plus 0x minus 81. So this term here is 0x. You have to catch that yourself. You should pause it now, try it yourself, see if you get the same answer as I get. Oh, that's right, pause it. Pause it. Great. You're back now. Okay, so hopefully two numbers that multiply to get 81 is 9x and negative 9x. I go to my box, x squared, negative 81, a 9x and a negative 9x. I pull out my x here and I get x, pull out my negative 9, pull out an x, pull out a positive 9. And so then my factors are x minus 9 from here and an x plus 9 is a factor of this. Oh, for this one, when I do this one, the first thing I have to notice that they're all even. Whenever I factor, I first and always look for a common factor first. That is so important. And here I do have a common factor, so it's 2x squared plus 7x minus half of 36 is 18. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just purely deal with this to factor. I make my cross. I get negative 18x squared. Here I get 7x. And now, of course, you should pause it, try it yourself, finish it off, and then check to see. So, it's paused. You're back. Oh, good. What two numbers multiply to get negative 18, add to get 7? Well, 9 and 2 get 18. I can make this 9x and a minus 2x because they add to get a positive 7. They multiply to get a negative 18x squared. Converting this then to the box, I know it gets x squared. And the 2 I just keep to the very, very end. I just keep it tucked away up there and I deal with the inside the parentheses. This is the negative 18, a 9x and a negative 2x. And so common factors here, I get x, I get a plus 9, x, and here I get the negative 2. Take out the negative. If this value is negative, I take out a negative as a factor. And so then, putting the factors in from here, I write the 2 again. And then this inside part becomes x minus 2, x plus 9. And the 2 just stays until the end. All right, so to summarize, common factor first. If it exists, take it out. Then the inside part we're going to factor by making the cross, multiply the outsides. This is just the middle term. And then ask yourself the magic question. What multiplies to get negative 18x squared and adds to get 7x? Well, that's 9x and negative 2x. Convert it to the box, pull out common factors, and then rewrite it in factored form. Good luck.